What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be doing another video over the UFC Fight Night Nurmagomedov versus Sandhagen. This is going to be a quick one. As you can see, the fight is right in the background. I don't know if I'm going to get copyright striked for that. Let me turn it off, actually. Yeah, it's a really, really great card. I'm super excited. I wanted to go over this. I think it's a little surprising, actually, some of the picks that I've been seeing online, but I think I'm going to go the opposite direction and on some of these picks, so we'll see. But yeah, let's go starting with Dumas versus some bum. I think Dumas is going to win, first of all. Uh, Dumas hasn't really looked good versus Dennis Talulin. I think Dumas hasn't really looked good recently in his past few fights. By the way, is he Muslim? Because I feel like he fights in the UAE region, and I feel like he was on the Saudi Arabia card as well. But yeah, I think Dumas is going to win. I think the Talulin isn't really equipped to grapple with the grappling. I think Dumas is gonna probably use his grappling advantage to just edge out rounds. I haven't really been too impressed with him. I think his last fight ended in an unfortunate eye poke. But yeah, I think Dumas is gonna win. It's gonna be just a boring decision. So I got Dumas for the first one. Jai Herbert versus Rolando Bedoya. Think Jai Herbert is probably going to take this one by decision as well. If y'all don't know, Jai Herbert is the lightweight who fought Ilia Topuria. That's his claim to fame. Is his he knocked Ilia Topuria down. I think Ilia Topuria took that fight on short notice, and it was a weight class up. So I don't know if you can really take much stock into that fight, but Herbert is really good on the feet. He's really slick. So I think it's going to be a boring decision. But Herbert is slick. So I think he might win it. No, he will win it by decision. Next one, Victoria Dudakova versus Sam Hughes. So whenever you're judging women fights, I'm going to give you guys a good rule of thumb. This is a secret that I don't share with a lot of people. But whenever you're judging women fights, you have to go with the individual that's more butch, that probably has more testosterone, because that person is probably going to be able to use their aggression, their grappling. They're going to just use their overall physicality to outmaneuver, out-wrestle, and to out testosterone the opposing person, right? So, and I feel like that could probably be said for men's fights as well. So this is actually exact opposite of that, though, because Dudakova is really good. She's Russian. She's slick on the feet. She's 8-0. She looks good in every fight that I've seen her in. Whereas Sam Hughes, she's 8-6. A little older. I think this is going to be an easy fight for Dudakova. She's going to run through her, maybe even get a submission in the second round. So I think Dudakova is going to win. But in the future, just keep that in mind about my theory of the higher testosterone leveled woman fighter typically wins. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But anyways, the next fight, Guram Kudeletse versus Jordan Vucenic. I think Guram's going to take this one. Guram's really good, guys. He's fought Elvis Brenner. He's fought Gamrot. He got a decision win over Gamrot. He's really good. Like, he fought another Russian lightweight too recently that is now retired. Let me see. But Guram's really good. Slick kickboxing. Trains with Hamzat. He's lives in Sweden. Super good. Super high level. I feel like a lot of his career hasn't really went that well because of injuries, but he's really, really good. And then Jordan's taking this on short notice from Cage Warriors. And realistically, his competition just pales in comparison to Guram and the level that he's fighting at. So Guram has slick wrestling, slick takedown defense, amazing on the feet. I think his strength of schedule is going to help him a lot here. I think being able to take long periods of time off and recovering and training hard and helping Hamza in his last camp helped Guram a lot. So I think Guram is just used to fighting and training with bigger guys naturally. So I think he's going to just have the physical advantage over Jordan as well. And Jordan just fought a few weeks ago in Cage Warriors. So I just don't think that he's ready for this high level of a competition. But I mean, kudos to Jordan. He got an opportunity to fight in the UFC. And this is how it happens, right? Even if it is on short notice, even if it is a not a advantageous matchup for you. I mean, that's how Diego Lopez made his name in the UFC, right? Took a fight on short notice against Evloev and almost won. And then now he's in the top 15, and that was what, like a year ago that he took on that fight, and he was relatively nobody, a relatively unknown person, right? So I think just a huge opportunity for Jordan, but I think Guram's gonna take this one, and it's gonna be easy money. I mean, his strength of schedule, guys, look up the guys he's fought in the past. Past 3 UFC fights, they've all been. Gamrot's top 5 guy. The other guy, I just do not remember his name, and Google's here. Let me just look it up. But the guy that he fought in between, what is his name? But he's a top 15 guy too, Russian. And that went to decision. He's really, really good, guys. So I think Guram's going to take this. Ismagulov? I don't know how to say that name. But that guy was so good. And Guram lost, but it was a good fight nonetheless. Anyways, yeah. Spending way too much time on this fight. All right, Guram's got this one in the back. All right, for the next one, we got Shamil Gaziev and Dontel Mays. Shamil is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC, to be honest. He's so funny. Like that last fight against Rosenstrike, such a disgraceful performance. He just gassed out after the first round and was heaving. And his mouthpiece was just so out and obviously he's just so obviously tired, and he was just able to get hit over and over, and he just gassed out at the beginning of the 5th round. Granted, he wasn't going to win, so I mean, kudos to him. He didn't. No, there's no kudos to quitting. I was trying to find the reason to give him credit, but I mean, he stayed in the fight against Rosenstrike, who's a top 15 guy, who at one point was a top 5 contender, right? So Shamil, he suffered his first loss in his last fight against number 15 Rosenstrike. He's going to put on the pace on Mays, and I don't foresee – it's an easy win for Shamil, man. I mean, he's just going to really, really put out the pace on Mays first round. I could foresee this being a first round knockout. He's really, really dangerous in the first round, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I got Shamil winning. By the way, I don't think I said this, but I think Guram's going to win by decision. So yeah, Shamil's going to take this one, and he's going to be just so funny. So keep that in mind. We got Muhammad Yahya versus Kwai Fernandez. I'm gonna go Yahya with this one. He's a hometown hero. I mean, he didn't look good against Trevor Peek, to be honest, and Fernandez is pretty good and slick on his feet, and also really, really good submission game. So I think Yahya though is gonna be able to. I think Yahya is going to have new motivation going into this fight because of the fact that it's in his home crowd, in his hometown, and I think he's going to train really hard for this fight, and I think he's going to show new levels. And for just some reason, I think Fernandez is beatable, and I think Yahya is going to be able to be a great underdog in this fight. I think people are asleep on Yahya, so I think he might take this one. At the same time, logic tells me Fernandez is going to win this, but my heart tells me Yahya is going to win. So I'm going to go with Yahya on this one. It's a tough fight to judge, but yeah, Yahya got this. For the next one, Azmat Mukazanov. I really got to look at these names before I come on here. Versus Alonzo Menifield. I think Azmat really got this one. It's just gonna be a boring decision, but he's really good. And he's a little older for that weight class, but he's very, very strong for the weight class as well. So I think because of the fact that he has that strength, that will be a great equalizer for the fact that he's not necessarily athletic per se, but for light heavyweight, all you need to do is just be a power puncher and have strength and command center of the octagon. So I think as Matt does all of those things and he has all those attributes, I think he'll be able to get Minifield out of here. Also, Minifield is kind of taking this fight pretty soon after getting knocked out by Olberg. So I don't really trust his chin right now. So I think Ozma got this one. Actually, it's not even I think. He's a for sure bet. He's going to get this one. So yeah, Ozma by boring decision. For the next one, Joel Alvarez versus Elvis Brenner. I know Alvarez is probably one that people are going to take because he's really good. He's super good. But Elvis Brenner, man, this guy is an absolute savage. Like, he's taken on everybody. Like, he's fought the who's who as far as up-and-comers go, and he looks great in every fight. Like, even in the last fight, he fought that Alaskan or Mongolian dude, and he looked great. Like, he was getting kind of dominated that first round, but then in the third round, he was progressively getting better. Got that win against Guram. Just Elvis Brenner is that dude. He's a savage. He's good everywhere. Super good boxing. Controls the center, puts the pressure on you, and progressively gets better as the rounds go. And he's just super entertaining. I think Elvis Brenner is going to take this one in the second round by knockout or submission, whatever he wants, honestly. I think Elvis Brenner is that dude, and he's going to be a top 15 guy and a fan favorite eventually. So I got Elvis Brenner taking this one. It's only a matter of time before he's a star in the UFC, I think. But we'll see. I got a lot riding on Brenner, but I know a lot of people probably aren't picking him, but I got Brenner. For the next one, Mackenzie Dern versus Lupi Godinez. I got Dern on this one. I know Lupi is really slick in the boxing, nasty hands, great takedown defense. Probably better than Dern everywhere than the jiu-jitsu, but I think Dern has been training for the CJI against Fifion Davis, and I believe she's going to use the grappling advantage in this one. Horrible on the feet, but she has the same coach now as Cheeto Vera, Luke Rockhold, Michael Bisping. His name escapes me right now, but she's back with her striking coach. So I think she's just it's just a matter of time before she gets Lupi to the ground and submits her. So I think Dern probably got it. It's going to be either a boring decision or she's going to get a submission in the third round. But I got Dern in this one, man. I think she's probably, not great on the feet, but everybody knows that her jiu-jitsu is probably the best in the women's divisions of women's MMA overall. So I got Dern by this one. It's going to be a pretty boring fight, honestly, but it's going to be fun to watch Dern roll around, right? It's always fun to see that. So got third round decision or third round submission by Dern. So for the next one, we got Tony Ferguson, Michael Chiesa. Got Chiesa in this one. Unfortunately, I want Ferguson to win, obviously, but Chiesa has crazy size advantage, crazy reach advantage. I think his power and just overall accustomed weight is going to just be like perfect for that the style matchup against Ferguson, who's not really accustomed to the weight class, who probably has low test, looks less muscular than ever as you get older. The less testosterone that you make, less muscles you have, the more soy you are overall. No matter how powerful your mentality is, no matter who is in your corner, David Goggins, no matter how many rounds that you said that you sparred all of a sudden for this camp, 120, Ferguson said. So I believe Chiesa is going to just have the grappling advantage, and he's going to just bully Ferguson, honestly. But Chiesa's pretty soy on the feet, honestly. But I think he's going to easily just be able to take Ferguson down and just submit him. So, unfortunately. I mean, Bobby Green submitted Ferguson. Good grief. So, yeah. Chiesa's going to easily win this one. Both those guys should retire. Chiesa, I like his commentating. I like his analyst work. So, he has a career after this. Yeah. So, yeah, Chiesa. Marlon Vera versus Davison Figueiredo. I got Figueiredo. Man, he has so much power at that weight class. He's not cutting himself. One thing that you could probably say about Figueiredo is the fact that he gets chinned a lot in his fights. But if you see his fighting style and how he's able to take a punch at 135, he fought a power puncher with Rob Font. And he was able to use the grappling advantage. I mean, he did it in both fights, right? Like he submitted Garbrandt in UFC 300. So I think even in Font, with the Font fight, he mixed in the grappling really well. So I think Figueiredo is going to just take Marlon Vera down. I think this is the weight class he should have been at. Dangerous guy, man. Like that skill advantage at flyweight and then going up to bantamweight, it's really, really going to help him. And then I think not having to cut so much is going to help him. And the grappling advantage, like he never grappled at 125 because I think he was just so afraid of gassing out. But with 135, I feel like he's able to just go for however long. So I'm really, really happy to see Figueiredo at 135. And I think Cheeto just enjoys not starting quick. I think Cheeto enjoys kind of finding the shots, finding the perfect shot, and he's so worried about being perfect and having that highlight reel with the ones against Frankie Edgar, Dominic Cruz, having all those knockdowns on Font. And he's so worried about finding that perfect punch that he waits for forever. And I think in a third round fight, that's not an advantageous style to have. And then I think whenever Figueiredo takes Cheeto down, he has no reluctance to get up. He's always trying to just stay on bottom. And it's that classic jiu-jitsu soy style that they're just okay with being on bottom and doing nothing and waiting for the round to end and then getting able to be let up by the refs. But he's not going to provide any damage on bottom. He's not like Oliveira where he's throwing elbows on bottom. He's being hyper aggressive. Cheeto's just going to be okay, and he's going to accept the being on bottom. So I think Figueiredo's going to put the pressure on him, and he has championship level experience. I mean, he was a champ, right? So, yeah. And then that skill disparity too, like being able that skill advantage whenever you're going up a weight class, it helps a lot, I believe. So, I think it's going to be an easy win for Figueiredo. I don't think it's going to be a finish because Cheeto's never been finished ever. I mean, he's as durable as it gets, honestly. Obviously, with that O'Malley ass kicking he took for 5 rounds, right? So, yeah, it's gonna be a fun fight. I think it could be either fun or just really, really boring. So we'll see. But I got Figueiredo round 3 decision, unanimous decision, even at that. All right, next one, Shara Magomedov versus Mikhail Olasechik. I got Shara because it's going to just be a grappling fight. Granted, Michelle rocked Kevin Holland in their last fight. But I think Shara got that dog in him, and then he's just going to have that hometown advantage, right? Because it's going to be a Muslim audience primarily. So I think Shara's going to just win. It's going to be a fun fight. Easily, it's going to be a fun one-sided fight for Shara, actually. So I think Shara's going to win this one. It's going to be a fun fight. But I think if Mikhail can implement the grappling and take him down and try to find some nasty submissions or some ground and pound, but I don't think he's one of those guys. He's not him. He's not that dude. This is an easy layup win, obviously, for Shara. So I think it's going to be a fun fight to see, but I they're just buying him time before he fights a grappler. But at the same time, he's in middleweight, right? So he doesn't really have to have a lot of grapplers against him. That's why I think guys like Usman should go up because they're going to just kill the middleweight division because of the fact that he's a grappler and there's no grapplers at middleweight like that. That's why Dricus was able to go up the ladder so quick. And I think that's why Derek Brunson was able to stay at middleweight for as long as he was with that skill disparity on the feet because of the grappling. So they're just buying Shara time, honestly, before so he can work out his. And he's from Dagestan. It's crazy. He has no grappling, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I got Shara. Maybe knockout first round. Let's go with first round knockout. All right, for the main event, Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. It's a tough one, guys. For Umar, I'm going to start with Umar. He's nasty on the feet. He started out as primarily a Muay Thai striker whenever he went to AKA. The same place where DC, Luke Rockhold, Khabib, Islam, they trained. And he had to learn the grappling eventually. He uses the teep kick, the push kick as a jab. So he kicks actually more than he jabs. And then whenever he's orthodox, he'll use the push kick. And then whenever he's southpaw, he'll use the left high kick. And he uses those as jabs. It's the craziest thing. And everybody knows whenever you're a grappler primarily, you can throw a lot of kicks because you're almost welcoming the other person to shoot on you. And you want it to go to the ground, right? So that's why he can throw so many kicks and not even be worried. Hence, Aljamain Sterling, his best strike. I mean, I know everybody talks about striking being abysmal, which it is. But at the same time, he throws so many kicks, and he got his best weapon are his high kicks because of the fact that he wants people to try to shoot on him so he can go to the ground because he always has the grappling advantage. So I think Umar throws a lot of kicks, and I'm curious to see how that's going to work against Sandhagen, though, because he's so long. But at the same time, his leg is going to be just for the taking because he has a very wide stance, Sandhagen. But at the same time, he's very dynamic and he moves a lot as well. So he's always going from side to side. So he's not really just staying one heavy leg like Robert Whittaker. I'm going to just plant my front leg and it's just there for the taking, for the kicking. But Umar obviously has the body advantage in this pause in the sense that he's able to be able to out muscle Sandhagen, to be honest, because Sandhagen is kind of soy whenever it comes to being out muscled. Like, I don't think he gets bullied a lot in the grappling. Like, TJ Dillashaw was able to easily inflict some damage, take him down. Sterling, everybody knows that, and what happened with that fight. Whenever Sandhagen fights the top guys, he typically fades and doesn't look good. He looked good against Dillashaw, but Dillashaw was coming off of 3-year injury, horrific injury, like knee injury, right? So but whenever he fought Jan, that was like one of the most high-level MMA fights I've ever seen. The Dillashaw fight, he looked amazing, but he lost that one. Sterling, first round submission. Yeah. And then whenever he just some more recent fights like Vera, Font, pretty boring fights, honestly. So, I mean, granted, he got hurt against Font. I'm going to go Umar with this one just because you don't bet against Nurmagomedov at this point, man. And I think Sandhagen, even though he has the X's and O's and he provides he has the test tubes, he's in the lab and he's really trying to analyze and calculate the perfect ways to beat an opponent. And he has all the tools, right? I think that mindset that Umar has Not to say that Sandhagen doesn't have it. I think it's just a different mindset, man. And he's really, really good. But I could see Corey winning too because of those same reasons. And he's so dynamic with his angles, and he's so strange with what he's throwing at you because he can do everything. He can throw hooks out of southpaw and orthodox. He can throw jabs out of nowhere, switch hands, throw crazy kicks, spinning back fists, spinning high kicks. Like, I mean, he latches on submissions out of nowhere. It's kind of crazy the stuff that Sandhagen can do. I just don't know about this fight. It's such a high level fight. I'm gonna go with Umar just slightly, but I can see Sandhagen winning as well. So we'll see. But yeah, super fun fight. It's happening right now. Just thought I'd upload this. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to you guys later. About to sign off, turn this fight on. See ya.